What's up, people? TCG Global here, bringing you a brand new video. I promised you guys I was gonna make an Ice Barrier deck profile, and here it is. As many of y'all know, the ban list recently dropped. So yeah, the ban list will definitely. This will be with the updated version with the ban list. So let's get started with the deck profile. We're gonna start with 3 Revealer of the Ice Barrier. Okay, this is gonna be your main playmaker. Right, so while you control another Ice Barrier monster, your opponent cannot tribute summon, and you can use it with Hexa to bring him out from the deck, and that will initiate the combo. So that will be the first 3 up there. Then, as we all know, we got 3 Speaker of the Ice Barrier. Another, this is a free special summon if you have a different Ice Barrier monster, and if you control an Ice Barrier monster, you can also summon a token. Well, if you banish it from the graveyard, it gives you a free token, so that's another option there. We also got 3 of the Hex Spirit of the Ice Barrier. That's the main combo you're gonna do with Revealer. So you can basically make them a level 2 or a level 3 depending on what you're trying to summon. So it's very, very versatile. This is going to be the main tuner that you're going to be using. So that's definitely a 3. Then we have 2 of the Silent Anglers. This will be a free special summon here. You can bump this up to 3 if necessary, but I think 2 is perfect number for this build. So basically, if you control a water monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. So that's a free special summon there. It's very easy to do. We got 2 General Wayne of the Ice Barrier. Another special summon. If your opponent controls a monster, you control an Ice Barrier monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. If this card is normal or special summoned, you can add 1 Ice Barrier spell or trap from your deck to your hand. Very straightforward. You can even use 3. We got 2 Defender of the Ice Barrier. This is going to be your main playmaker to send to the graveyard with Hexa. If you're trying to do like a level 9 or level 11 synchro, this is going to be very, very useful. I think 2 is more than sufficient for this build. I think 3 is a little bit too cluggy. So that's going to be your level 3 tuner. We also got double barrier statue of the torrent. Now I've seen a lot of people put this as a side deck because it definitely changes games. You can drop this as soon as you have at least 1 synchro on the field, at least 1 Trishula or any of the ice barrier synchros, and that will definitely slow down your opponent. That will prevent them from special summoning monsters. So definitely highly recommended to run at least 1 would be good. We got 1 Fishborg Launcher, a free special summon from the graveyard if you have a different water monster besides that one. 1 Cryomancer of the Ice Barrier, it's another level 2 tuner. Secret Guards of the Ice Barrier. I was not able to get a Geomancer, but I did get Secret Guards of the Ice Barrier. Face-up Ice Barrier monsters cannot be targeted by the effects of your opponent's effect monsters. Alright, now if you do have access to Geomancer, I would definitely take this out and put in the Geomancer instead. But for now, we're going to use this. To Prior of the Ice Barrier. If you control an Ice Barrier monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. Very simple. You can target one Ice Barrier monster in your graveyard, except himself, and you can special summon the target. So the only drawback of this card is you cannot special summon any level 5 or higher monsters. So just to consider that. Now we're gonna move on to the magic. Two spell cards here. We got triple wins over the Ice Barrier. You can tribute any number of Ice Barrier monsters you control to special summon that same number of level 4 or lower Ice Barrier monsters from your deck with different names. So it's going to be your main playmaker. You got triple medallion of the Ice Barrier. This will be your main searcher. If you add one Ice Barrier from your deck to your hand, you can search pretty much any Ice Barrier that you will need to complete the combo. We also got triple freezing chains of the Ice Barrier. This is pretty much going to be your monster reborn. If this card is activated, you can target one level 4 or lower Ice Barrier monster and special summon it from the graveyard. So that's going to be your main reviver there. We got two surface. You revive one level 3 or lower fish, sea serpent, or aqua monster from your graveyard. We got three Moray of Greed. This card is super helpful when it comes to adjusting your hand. If your hand is not too good at the beginning or at any moment during the game, you can return two water monsters to the deck to draw 3 cards. So that's going to be able to fix up your hand. We also got double salvage. Target 2 water monsters in your graveyard with 1500 or less and bring them back to your hand. For the trap cards, I only run 3 Crackdown because that's all I'm going to use. It's just basically for board control to prevent your opponent from getting too much advantage. Very unexpected and very disruptive trap card that is being used. Very useful for disrupting plays. You can take control of one of your opponent's monsters. As long as you control the monster, that monster cannot attack or activate effects. So you can pretty much use it as well for synchro summoning if it meets the requirement. And the last trap card that I use will be Chair of Trishula. Very straightforward card. You only need one. If you control one Ice Barrier, you can either banish one card. If you have 2 or more, banish one card from your opponent's graveyard. 3 or more, banish one random card from your opponent's hand. So that's pretty much what it's going to do. And if your opponent activates a card or effect that targets an Ice Barrier you control, you can banish this card from your graveyard to negate that effect. So that's going to be it for the main deck. We're going to move on to the extra deck. Show some cards there that I would like to get, but I have not been able to get them yet. But so far the extra deck looks decent. For the extra deck, the first synchro we have is going to be the brand new Trishula Zero Dragon of the Ice Barrier. As many of y'all know what this card already does and how good it is. It banishes 3 cards from your opponent without targeting. And if it is destroyed by an opponent's card, you can bring a Trishula from your extra deck or graveyard with 3300 attack. And you can half the attack of any face-up monster your opponent controls and also negate their effects. So this is going to be your main playmaker for this deck. It's a level 11. It's very easy to do with the combos that you can do with the axes of Revealer, Hexa, Prior. There's many ways to do it. We got triple Gungear Dragon of the Ice Barrier. It's a level 7. It's going to be pretty standard to summon as well. You can discard up to 2 cards to destroy the same number of cards. If you have Revealer in your graveyard, you can also banish her from the graveyard instead of discarding the card to activate his effect. We also got one Bryonek, Dragon of the Ice Barrier. It's a level 6. You can return any number of cards from your opponent to their hand depending on the number of cards you discard. It's another old school Ice Barrier there. One Powered Insectron. It's a level 6. And we also have two Duloran. Tiger King of the Ice Barrier with the current ban list. I know it's up to 3, but I think 2 is sufficient with this build. You can target any number of face-up cards you control, return them to your hand, and give them 500 attack for each card that was returned. Now I know there was an errata, so that's fair enough. I believe it was something to do with the once per turn. So that would be for the level 6s, that would be it. Now we're gonna move on to level 8. And we have an Emancipator Risen Dragite. Alright, this card is pretty damn good because during your main phase, you can excavate the top 5 cards of your deck, and if you do, you can return cards your opponent controls up to the hand up to the same number of excavated rock monsters. And if your opponent activates a spell or trap or effect while a water monster is in your graveyard, you can negate the activation. So that's pretty solid there. So that's a level 8 water synchro that you're going to be using. And for the level 9, we have the Trishula Dragon of the Ice Barrier. For the XYZs, we have one Stardust Giant, 2 level 4 monsters. It's a level 4, rank 4. Once per turn, you can detach one material from this card and reveal any number of water monsters from your hand and place that many ice counters on face-up monsters on the field. Non-water monsters on the field will lose 200 attack for each ice counter on the field. Of course, we have the better option for the rank 4s. That would be Bahamut Shark. Bahamut Shark is going to be your main playmaker for the rank 4 exits. You guys know what this does. You can bring out for free by detaching one material from this card. Special summon one rank 3 or lower water monster, and you're gonna summon Totally Awesome for free. Alright, so that's basically the combo you're gonna do with this card. And that's pretty much it. That's pretty much the deck profile. Okay, let me know what you guys think in the comments. If you have any suggestions, any recommendations to make this deck better, feel free to let me know in the comments as well. I know I'm missing the hand traps, but this will be a non-competitive version, just 100% casual. But any open suggestions, anything that you would use differently, feel free to let me know. I am open to any kind of feedback. Thank you guys for watching the video, and feel free to like and subscribe. Peace out.